Hey everyone. Well, I'm in the city. I'm in Tucson for just a short time. And I'm sitting here, but the wind's picking up. Yeah. Oh well. Well, let's see what we can do here. I want to talk today about boondocking. And I want to talk, about the difference. Fighter plane. Lots of fighter planes going around. There's an Air Force base on the outside of Tucson. It's in Tucson, but it's on the outside, obviously. And Davis-Monthan. Max would love it here with all the aeronautics going on. And there's a nice air museum. Yeah. Out there, so yeah. There's like a graveyard too. I always thought, man, that'd make a cool house, wouldn't it? You could just redo the inside of the plane. Yeah. And then you could have shade, we're talking big, carriers, I once said an aircraft carrier, somebody said, that's the Navy. Yeah. Well, whatever those carriers are called. They got a huge wings. You could have nice shade under there. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Give you a nice barrier around too, that your neighbors, that's your land. A nice area around. But we'll see if I can deal with the wind. So I want to talk about boondocking, not only the difference between boondocking, urban boondocking, which is often called BlackTop BoonDocking, or dispersed camping, which is boondocking out. There's a big difference, and each category has its ups and its downs, its pros and its cons. But I want to start off with boondocking etiquette on both areas, whether it's urban or not. Because there's a real etiquette out there, a real guideline, but, and you know what? 98% of people that I've seen, as much as my boondocking experience goes, of what I've seen is 98% really do follow, but a lot that don't. And I'm going to say that a large percentage of those who don't follow etiquette are in very large rigs. And I don't want to if you have a large rig, I don't want to turn you off. But it's a fact. A lot of times larger rigs, they don't have good manners for us who are in smaller rigs. And that could even include the smaller rigs, class B or high top. So, let's get started on talking about boondocking etiquette. And I hope your day's going really good. If you've been following me for a while, I know it's going good, because you know that being positive no matter what is always the better way to go. So I know you're having a really good day. Yeah. So the first thing I want to talk about is respect. Showing respect, and that's showing respect for the land. Yes. They have made, like BLM land and federal parks, they do belong to us. Well, they do. We pay our taxes and they belong to us. I think the government would think otherwise, but they do belong to us. But in that fact, we have to respect it, or they will have to really clamp down and put more constraints and rules on us, or even lock us out of them, which is pretty crazy, but they could do that. So we have to respect the land. And there's a couple ways we can do that. One, by respecting the rules that are existing. Do not park where you're not supposed to park. I saw that, not a lot, but I did see it. I saw vehicles that went way beyond, near the courtside area. I saw vehicles go way beyond where they should have. That's just a no-no. There are obvious signs of where you can park, where they have prepped places for us to camp, do our dispersed camping. And there's a couple of reasons why you don't want to go parking or go out where you're not supposed to. And one is that there are wildlife out there and you're going to disturb them. There might be coyote dens with young being cared for out there, and you're just going to make them all really nervous. I mean, they can't move their pups right away, but you're going to make them nervous if they already have their dens with pups in them. There goes another one. Yeah. Another reason is you're going to trample the flora unnecessarily. They've already given us a place on BLM land. They will let you know where you can camp and where you can't. So if you're just going to camp willy-nilly, you're going to destroy the land. So, yeah, you want to respect the rules, and that way you can respect the land. Another etiquette rule is do your homework. Look everything up, look where you're going to go, and look everything up that you can where you have good cell service. Because once you get there, you might not have good cell service, and you need to look up what the rules are for that particular area. Because every area has a different rule. There's different rules in like the Quartzsite area, that kind of BLM, but there's other areas all around the nation, well, mostly on the West Coast, but there's different areas are going to have different needs and different rules. Now, even for the East Coast, if you're going in state parks or federal parks, you want to look up and see what the rules are for them too. Know what's expected for each area and look them up. Like I said, you might not have cell service. Now, the rangers and the police who handle your certain area wherever you are, East Coast, West Coast, South, North, Upper, Washington, Oregon, all that. They know the rules, and they're really there to protect the land and also to protect you. Yeah, there's a few bad eggs out there, but for the most part, they're there to help us, and they're there to help our land. So they're going to be courteous to you if you're doing something wrong, and they'll let you know. But please obey them and do what they ask you to do, whether it be move, oops. I know I heard a story where somebody told where they didn't research it very well before they got there. And when they got there, they didn't have good cell service. So they found a spot and they parked. But a ranger had to come up and let them know they had to move. They had to move because it was on further down the dirt road that they were to park. So they had to pull up camp. And they did. It was a hassle, but that was their lesson, to look it up first. Oh, another big major issue is respect other campers out there. Yeah. I mean, respect their quiet time. It's from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. But if you're going to blare your music, make sure that you park way far away from people. I've done that. I've got a Bluetooth, and sometimes I want to rock while I'm exercising when I was out in Quartzsite, but I made sure that only like the people around me that were camping could actually hear it. I hope nobody else heard it, but it was in the afternoon, and hopefully everybody was inside their rig. And it wasn't during the time when it was really packed. I would not do that. It was just recently when I was out there, and there weren't that many people near. If they were too far near, I don't know why they did park so close. A couple of them actually did. They parked kind of close. When there was so much land out there, I couldn't, why? Why? And all my friends, we was like, why would they do that? But they did. And so parking too close. Oh my gosh. If you have a generator, or if you are going to run your engine to get heat or whatever you need to do it for, I'm just going to say it. Please don't park close to people like me in a minivan or an SUV or a sedan that we aren't carrying generators and things. But I did experience it. Oh yeah. I had, without complaining too much, I'll catch one of them and sometimes you can see what I'm seeing. They're kind of close. Go Air Force. Yeah. That I had, and there were so many areas, I was in shock. And they parked right in the middle. It was a gal. She parked right in the middle. She had a Class C. She parked right in the middle, really close. I mean, anybody else who knew me and was talking to me, they said, why did she park so close? Well, every morning and every evening, she started her engine. It wasn't a generator, but it made the same noise. I was going to do a van tour one morning, and we just got started. She started her engine. I had to move. We all had to move. Yeah. I'm like, why? Another time she did it, and I was in the middle of a video, and she started her engine and just ran it. You know, it also smells. And I just left it in, but it did make noise. Yeah. Then another time, when I first met Jack, we were so we were going to do stargazing, and I got out my astronomy binoculars, and we started a fire, and we were out there, and we were looking at we were gazing. I even brought out my self-inflating sleeping pad, and I blew it up so that I could lay down and look out. We took turns like laying, so that, because these astronomy binoculars are so heavy, they're like 5 pounds, so you're holding binoculars and they tend to shake, so it's kind of like you get blur. But if you're laying down, you can kind of lean it on your forehead or your eye, you know, the bone around your eye. She started her engine. Totally blew the whole stargazing moment. Yeah. So we had an engine running. We're trying to stargaze. Yeah. It sucked. I was really mad. She was like, ugh. But that's at the point where I moved. And then she left, and I thought, well, maybe I'll go back. I had left my tent there. And I said, well, maybe I'll go back. And I swear, same area, different girl, Class C, parked right in the same spot. And then she had a friend with her. I'm like, and she ran her engine. So, I don't know. I kind of have something to go into Class C now. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here's another etiquette, is the lights. The lights. One of the biggest violators of a light issue are Class A's. They have these huge poles that go way up high, and they have lights up there that flash back and forth. They flicker. Yeah, I'm like, they blink is the word. They blink all night long. They blink. It might be red, blue, red. I don't know. Are they worried they're going to get hit by a plane or something? I don't know, but they do. And if you're going to stargaze, it makes it kind of hard. Also, if you have floodlights going on, if you have too many lights on your rig, stop. Arizona is known for its stargazing ability. Even in Tucson, there are, if any, we don't have street lights the way you do in other towns, because we're all about stargazing. The University of Arizona has a huge telescope, and they have a whole astronomy department, and you can go in there. It's like a museum too, but you can stargaze. You go in and stargaze. Well, that's one of the reasons Tucson keeps its lights low level. Well, it's the same out boondocking if you're in Arizona and you're out. But a lot of the boondockers and the travelers, the nomads, they don't. So people with larger rigs, they don't really totally understand what Arizona is about. In this nation, most stargazing goes on in under Arizona skies. So having large floodlights and excessive lights while you're out boondocking, I mean, I don't know if you necessarily have to have them. I mean, it's not like you have to have lights so you guide your way home, or, you know, for burglars or something like that. So my advice for larger rigs is keep your lights low. Some of us are out there and we're trying to, you know, stargaze at night. Another issue are ATVs and dirt bikes. You know, keep those down. If you're going to use those, it's a good idea to do it far away from other people. I know at some point you're going to have to go by people. I will tell you a story. When I first went, I boondocked and then I left and then I came back. And I boondocked, Joanne drove up, and so we boondocked together. There was a large, it wasn't too far. We parked far away from them, but that didn't matter. There were probably 8 or 9 Class A's all in this big circle. So they were having fun. Oh, and I think they should have fun. Oh my gosh, yes. But the problem is they had a couple of preteens and they had dirt bikes. And nobody, like, I was surprised that nobody, like, instructed them or taught them, if you're going to do the dirt bikes, there was a whole area where they could have done it around. There was one day, the last day before Joanne left, they were actually going around us and going around all these other people. At one point, I just put on my arms, I go, no, you know, stop. It was creating this huge, I mean, we had to breathe it in. Really? If you have children that are going to be out with their dirt bikes, just help them and, you know, tell them. And that kid, he was probably about 11. I mean, he didn't have a clue, you know. I don't blame him with the parents. They could have said, if you're going to do this, go out. Go out. And it's not like it's dangerous to go way far away, but there was an area that wasn't, it didn't have hardly anybody out there. And they still could have watched them. So, yeah, dirt bikes and dust, fire rings for your campfires. Now, it's going to be different on all types of BLM land. You might have the actual metal fire rings. In Quartzsite and the BLM land around there were fire pits made out of rocks. So, you know, you could kind of make a new fire pit if you want to. And I always stress that, you know, if you're going to move rocks, you can just maybe move your existing fire pit and move it to another area so you get your exercise. You're lifting rocks and you're getting your walking in, things like that. But there are going to be some areas where you can't just build a fire pit anywhere. I read that some fire pits actually need to be inspected first to make sure that it's a good fire pit in campsites. So just making your own fire pit could be against the rules. Yeah. Pepsi, for a new generation of nomads. I just need a drink. Thought I'd do a commercial. There we go. Whoops. Oh. There we go. Gotta keep this in front. Whoops. I was just thinking they should put this part. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay, enough of that. I'm in the city. Yeah. Although when we were at Quartzsite, I mean, there were planes that went over. They're really doing a lot of exercises today, aren't they? Another thing about fire pits, if you're in a campsite and they haven't used it for a while, and you can tell because maybe they've got things overgrowing it, make sure you clean it out. You don't want anything to catch on fire. You know, just go to Smokey the Bear website, okay? And look at all the precautions about putting out the fire, different precautions for starting the fire, and all the rules. Yeah, so we don't start forest fires. Only you can prevent forest fires. Always leave your campsite cleaner than you found it. Oh, yeah. The rule of thumb is, while you're there, take only photos. When you leave, only leave your footprints. Or they say, pack it in and pack it out. Yeah, or something like, yeah, pack it in and pack it out. Yeah. When we were out there, there was only two standing. It was Jack and I. We were the last two standing. And that last night, we thought, wow, because Joey left kind of abruptly. She had to take off. And so we were like, wow, okay, well, we're the only two standing. I was going to leave the next day. So we thought, well, let's go around and just check for every papers, anything. And nobody left papers, but we went even more around. We thought, well, something to do. And we'll say goodbye to the land. And, well, we did find a few things. And we brought it back. And we were thinking, wow, this is almost like Survivor. Remember in Survivor, the last two standing or whatever? No. Then after a while it became the last three standing, but in the beginning it was only the last two. Who was going to get the $1 million, you know? So we were laughing about that, you know, when they did that ceremony where they were burning the torches. And we started talking about all the people that we met while we were there. Sort of like a little ceremony. We did. And then we, any papers that we found, we put in the fire pit. And Max had left some wood, so we used your wood, Max, for good purpose. And we just stood around there, and yeah, we just kind of like mentioned all the people that we met, and yeah, it was fun. Then I left in the morning, and then Jack left the next day, too. So, but I guess the point is, we were talking about packing it out. Yeah, Jack and I just made sure that not just ours, and none of our friends left anything. I just want to mention that. But we did go even further, and we did find a few things. Maybe it blown in. But I did, I know, again, I'm sorry. If you own a Class A, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to pick on you, but I've noticed that in Class A's are particularly not respectful, percentage-wise. There was another, it was a small group, but it was like 4 of them. And when they left, I was just walking around, and I walked over there and was like, oh my gosh, huge pieces of cardboard just blown all over. When they left, they didn't even bother to pick it up. And all they would have had to do was pick it up and then put that cardboard in the fire pit, made of rocks, big rocks, and maybe put a rock over it. So the next person could have made their own, started a fire with it. But you just don't lay it in the flora. You just don't let it lay in. So I went around and I thought, well, it's something to do. And I picked up all their, I cleaned up for them. So whoever you are, I cleaned your mess up. Yeah. And I know, then when we were walking around the other day, we found all these, there were a whole bunch of them. But they're really rusted out cans. Ooh, signs of human life out here. I took a picture of it. If I can find it, I'll put it on here. Yeah. And, yeah. Ancient artifacts of humans. Yeah. As you can see, I'm sitting inside a Ramada. Hard to believe they finally took off the caution tape. So I want to talk about urban boondocking. Oh yeah, it's referred to as BlackTop BoonDocking. And there's etiquette rules for that too, because I'm a BlackTop, a boondocker, and a dispersed camper. So there's rules for out here too. You have to respect the land that you're parking on. You have to respect them. Otherwise, they're going to really clamp down, and all of us are going to suffer. Well, That's one of the reasons I like my minivan, because I can stealth camp. Nobody even knows I'm in there. And of course, I'm not going to leave a trace. Yeah. So one of the first rules of blacktop camping is ask permission. If you're going to stay in a Walmart parking lot, it's a good idea, especially with that COVID thing, still traces of it going on. Go in and ask them and say, do you allow parking out here? Yeah. Don't put your awning out if you have a large rig. Don't put out your extensions if you're in a Class A or C. Class C's have those too. But especially Class A's, they can crank them out, and ooh, the extensions, the living rooms come out, yeah. Yeah. One place I will mention that they do is, remember I said is a great place to, if you're near Quartzsite and you just want something different and you want to go to the Walmart in Parker, it's the closest Walmart. If you want to go there, well, near Walmart is the Blue Water Casino. And they allow parking there as long as you go in to and register your vehicle, give them your license so they can see it, and then let them know what your license plate is. They'll give you a ticket to put on your windshield, and yeah, you can park there for 7 days. And a lot of people do. They crank out and they put out their little barbecues and everything, and that's cool. It's such a huge parking lot. But a lot of people do that. Even before COVID, when you didn't have to register, oh my gosh, they brought out their plants, their big rugs, and their chairs, and they were just out there partying, with their drinks, and in the parking lot. Everybody did it. It's quite the party. It really was. Even at one point, I had my chair out beside my thing, and I met a bunch of people. So I met Tracy, I met Brett and Daniel, and yeah, we would sit out there at night and with our chairs and laugh, and yeah, we yucked it up, had a good time. So, but there, yes. But if you're in a Walmart parking lot, no. That's not a good idea. So there are rules you want to respect. The company that the business that you're staying at. Make sure you clean up after yourself. Don't be just dumping your waste out, and that does include, your urine and things like that. Just don't in the parking lot dump things out. That's no respect. If you're in a city, please respect, and make sure that you have you go to a nice dumpster. That's open. In Tucson, dumpsters are open. Anybody can use it. In Park, you got waste baskets everywhere. So yeah, some cities are worse than others. Like I've actually mentioned, like Lake Havasu. Ooh, there's hardly any. They're hard to find any dumpsters or anything. So yeah. And if you're out boondocking on BLM land outside of Lake Havasu, they really should have, but I don't think they do. Oh my gosh, in Parker and I think Ehrenberg and Quartzsite, in that area, all the BLM land, they have an actual refuse dump station handy for us. Because they know we need to dump our garbage. So they've got it going on there. They know that we're coming out there, and there's going to be a lot of us. So they really have good facilities out there for that. Truck stops. Make sure you park where vehicles park. Don't take up a trucker's spot. And in a lot of cases, I've never seen it. I've never seen that happen. Truckers have their own area. It would be silly for a vehicle to go there. They probably would run you over. They'd probably crowd you out. Yeah. Be like, what the hell? Or they might say, what are you doing here? Go over there. When I mentioned truck stops as a place to park, I had one gal, oh yeah, she goes, how dare you tell people to park at a truck stop? Those truckers need places to park at. I'm like, what? I think anybody with a brain knows that, and any trucker knows that they park over there. Have you ever been to a truck stop? You park over there, and vehicles park over here. So, no, we're not taking up any trucker spot. Hello? Yeah. If you've been, maybe they've never been out, they've never experienced it. So, but she was quite scolding, trying to scold me. No, I know what's up with truck stops, and there's certain places we park and we don't. And it's common sense, obvious. Yeah. So while you're boondocking anywhere, be courteous, be considerate, be friendly. People really are friendly out here for the most part, but be considerate. I think one of the largest complaints of anybody boondocking that is not, it's considered very impolite, is parking too close to people you don't know and making too much noise, running generators. If you have a generator, don't park near somebody without, does not have a generator. I mean, it's kind of obvious. We're smaller rigs. And, and don't run at all hours of the night, even for your generator type friends. They don't want to hear that. So yeah, so that is your basic boondocking etiquette. It's really common sense. But I want to mention, because common sense, it's like a superpower now. It's very rare. If you have common sense, you're a superhero. Yeah. Yeah. Use common sense. Be a superhero. So while I was out boondocking, I met quite a few people, and they are now lifelong friends. And they recognized me, and they would come up to me and say, "Aren't you Minivan Lee?" Yes, I am. There were a couple that seemed a little starstruck by meeting me. One was over the top starstruck, and I love you, girl. I love you, girl. At first, she parked in front of me. She came to ask me a question, and my door was, sliding door was open, and I was editing a video. And when she recognized me, she just went, oh my God. She cried and laughed and couldn't speak for a little while. I told her, come sit down over here. My door was open. And when you can speak, tell me your name. Yeah, tell me your name. So, but she soon got over it. I'm just a normal person. And I've asked a few of them, I said, am I the same? They go, oh yeah, you're the same on camera as you are off. And I'm not a celebrity by any means. But it was interesting that people would recognize me. And we ended up parking and in the same area. Some came and went, but some, we were solid for a while. And everybody was so respectful. So I thought I would lay out for you, if we're out boondocking, I doubt in the city we're going, but if we're out, next year we're out boondocking and you recognize me, come say hi. Yeah, just say hi. Hey, and introduce yourself. It's cool. It's cool. I noticed that a few of my new friends that I made, they were worried that they might bother me. So you're not going to bother me. You're not going to bother me. I might be in here editing a video. But you know me, I mean, I could take a break. Oh, yeah. If I have, so I guess I'll do my, I don't know what other YouTubers would do or whatever. But these are my suggestions, my guidelines. If my sliding door is open, just come and talk to me. Now, on my sliding door, you might not see if my sliding door is open, but you can always walk close and walk around a little bit and see if it's open. I could be going potty too in here. Yeah. Peeing or something. But go ahead and you can sit down and chat with me for a while. If my door is open, yeah. I did notice that a lot of times they said, well, they were worried that they would bother me. You're not going to bother me. And I don't mind going to see you. I don't mind going to see you if you're parked near me. But I found I had to do that a lot because I noticed that they were they were nervous that they might be bothering me. So when I wanted to talk to them, I went to talk to them for the most part. So, yeah. Except Jack, he always was coming over here. It didn't matter. Yeah, I love you. I thought it was great. I'm teasing you. Yeah. So yeah, come over and talk to me. I love to talk, you know. Really? Do I love to talk? What gave you the first clue? So those are the things that I would suggest. But I'll tell you, we had many campfires, and I'm just going to do this as a little wrap up of my boondocking experience for 3 months. We did a lot of campfires, and they were hilarious. They were fun, hilarious. Yeah, your clothes do get stinky. Oh my gosh. You got to almost put them in a bag, because where are you going to put them? I mean, I guess you can put them in your tent, but yeah, they smell after a while. I mean, a campfire does smell pretty good, but ooh, yeah, when your clothes are saturated with it and your hair gets saturated. We had a lot of good food together. It was wonderful. We had great laughs. And of course, you know, we had our little mascot, Abby. And hey, Abby, roof, roof. Yeah, and so to everybody that I boondocked with, I love you all. And we're going to be friends forever. Yeah, forever. Not getting away from me. Yeah. So then on my point, I really got a different view of the real difference between city and city mouse, country mouse. One thing, one thing is the noise in the city. Wow. I don't mind it though. I mean, I'm used to living in a city. So the noise it doesn't bother me, but the noise. Already last night where I stayed, you could hear car doors. Yeah. You could hear a little chatter, chitter chatter. I slept really well though. You know, it didn't bother me. I sleep well. Another thing too is my curtains. I have to really bring them down. And when I was out boondocking, I didn't have to. I have window limo tinting on these, so it was kind of nice at night. I could kind of look out, and I could, because it is limo tinting, I couldn't see the stars as well as I would have liked to. But yeah, and I could actually even take off my windshield, you know, in the night once my lights were out, and take it out and kind of look out at the stars. Yeah. So that's a big difference too. Now, let's see what on my notes here. Another thing, everything's inside my van. Oh yeah, there's no more putting out my bins and making more room, but it makes it more cozy in here. So it's just city mode. I mean, but that's the difference. I have everything now inside my van. I'm more alone. I'm alone out here in the city. You'd think, really? You're alone and you're in the city. Yeah, I mean, this is more solo out in the city for me. Yeah, this time around anyways, because I met so many cool people. Yeah, what else? Which brings me to, I have more time to create in the city. There's a couple projects that I'm going to start working on, so yay, get things done. Yeah. But I miss the socializing. Yeah. Miss all of you. What else? There's more available. There's Walmarts everywhere. Yeah. There's more shade. I'm parked under shade right now. Yeah. In Tucson, we have a lot of solar panel. There's rows of them where we can park under. Yeah. Shade. Big deal. There's more asphalt. I'm driving on asphalt. Well, you know, probably say, ooh, you know, well, I kind of like it for the kind of tires I have on my minivan. It was okay on stones and on dirt roads. I don't go too far back in the way some of you do, even with the minivan. I don't. I want my minivan to last as long as as long as it can last, yeah. So, and my tires and my suspension system. So yeah, it's good to be on asphalt again for a while. Yeah. Biggie, here's the big one. Better cell coverage, woo! Yeah. I have cell service wherever I go, yeah. Wow, that's major. It's a major deal. Especially for a YouTuber who has to upload videos. And then I also want to mention that wherever you go, whether you're dispersed camping on BLM land, or you're in the city and you're a city dweller, blacktop nomad, well, be polite about your pets. Yeah. Use your leashes and pick up after them. Yeah. That goes for wherever you are. So if you're a nomad, please practice polite pet care. Yes. So that wraps us up. I'm going to be in city mode for a while. I'm going to be working hard at some projects, and I'll be giving you, yeah, probably a little bit different videos, but, you know, they're going to be good, so don't miss out on them. Yeah. Subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Watch them all the way through. Those help too. And don't forget this Nomad Life podcast on all platforms. And another reminder is the Amazon links in my video description. Go through the links. It's my door. You go through it. And you can buy whatever you want. You don't even have to buy that product. But as long as you put it in your cart and you order it within 24 hours, I get a little something, something. And it doesn't cost you a thing. So, love you. Bye.